Start recording. Welcome, everybody, to the Ultimate Something podcast. It is myself, Hayden Van Dyke, and Jared Mall here. I don't know why I'm introducing this like it's a radio show, because I'm used to doing a radio show, but I realize that I'm not on the radio. It's very different. It's very different, is what I'm saying. How are you guys doing?
I'm playing with a knife right now, so that usually boosts my spirits.
All right, so
yeah.
I just first thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we were so close to starting this podcast. About it's 10:01 right now. What time were we all online?
I think about 5, 6 o'clock. No way, it was not 3.
Yeah, I woke up at 5.
3 o'clock. And Hayden was like, all right, well, no, I was like, all right, we should do the test run. And you guys were all for it. And we did the Audacity thing. And we did
don't use Audacity.
Yeah,
don't do
it. The test
Just
run.
Don't do
it. I'm holding out hope. I'm keeping it on my computer, and hopefully it doesn't destroy.
We were we were doing the test run, and then all of a sudden my audio was echoing because of something with Hayden, and then Hayden tried to edit it to make it sound good. That took him 30 minutes. Meanwhile, Jared,
you got the file.
Meanwhile, Jared his computer has been infected completely.
It took over the entire audio part of my computer because I had to change part of it because I'm wearing headphones and I'm also involved with them in a stream. I had to change everything around, but then it changed it on everything on my computer, even though I closed it. So it really screwed me for a solid 20 minutes.
Time just kept going by like a blur. I texted Hayden. I was like, Hayden, we were using OBS now. I
was fully focused. I did not look at my phone. My phone
was
again upside down and on silent.
And then I texted Hayden. I was like, Hayden, we're uninstalling Audacity. It's over. So it's just then Jared, you uninstalled Audacity, and then I uninstalled Audacity because you had to fix your computer. It's just crazy, man.
It helped. I uninstalled it. I was able to fix it.
So with things with podcasts is it's kind of chillax type thing. The thing that I'm kind of realizing is that I don't have to say on topic stuff every now and consistently because I'm not on a schedule like I am with the radio. Which
you don't have ads to get to?
Yeah, I don't. Well, we didn't have ads. We just played music because no one cared enough.
You were doing ad reads.
Yeah, you had ads. I did.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but those weren't commercials. Those were ads that I had to read. Which maybe
an ad read.
Maybe I'll have to do that for this podcast when it blows up and goes to the top of the chart.
Guys, make us famous. We don't have much going.
Please,
know, we're all broke.
Here's the thing: we have enough time to do a podcast. That means that we're in a bad spot financially. That's what that means. The only people that do podcasts are people that are just I burned out in high school. I didn't do good in college. I flunked to get into the military, but here I am doing a podcast.
Which means they're the interesting people that you should listen to.
Yes.
Exactly. We haven't been through a lot, so we have a lot to not talk about.
If the election is still going on, make sure to write us in. Vote for us. Give us as much power as you possibly can. So, I had a little story that I wanted to share for this podcast. I purposely didn't tell you guys this because I wanted to save it for the podcast. I was working on Wednesday with a coworker of mine, and I don't know if I should say names. I'm just not gonna because maybe they don't wanna. And she was.
Yeah, I would love to hear the names of all the people you work with.
Hey, where do you work? Actually, where's your home address? So we can really
yeah, you want my social security number?
Yeah, for the real fans. The real fans need to know.
If we get to 100 subscribers, we'll give out our social security numbers.
I don't even use mine anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Want stock tips? I can help you.
So she was we were talking because, working, I'll say this, I work a retail job, and when you work a retail job, you see the empty void of life. Is the best way I can like say what a retail job is, because like it's just absolutely insane. Just how unbelievably just boring a retail job is. She
It's
was
about the
talking
same
about
as shopping
she
for
was
too long.
yes, she was talking about how she was poor and broke, and I was like, okay, I don't care. And she's like,
She has a job.
I was thinking about getting an OnlyFans. So immediately my ears perked right up. I was like, OnlyFans.
Wow.
So she started talking to me about getting an
man.
OnlyFans, using videos that her boyfriend and her shot, and I was like, well, hold on here. You're an attractive looking lady. She said, can I get a discount of some sort? So I
You're gonna
start
ask to film videos for her.
I start working my magic, and I'm starting to say like, hey, what's your price? She's like, oh, well, she had put a lot of research into it. She was
Really?
like, I watched this girl's videos, and like she says she like charges like $20 a month, and I was like, here's the thing. I stopped her right there, because the thing with OnlyFans subscriptions is, you women listening out there, you cannot charge more than a Netflix subscription. You just cannot do it. Because
Think about the content.
yeah, think about Netflix's content, right? Think of all the things you can watch on Netflix, and it charges what, $15?
Like Cuties is on there.
Yeah,
Do you think
like
you
you
can
can watch
compete with that?
the world-renowned movie of
It's the same
Cuties.
thing.
And
Yeah,
just,
well, depending on
And your
what
parents are
content
paying
you're
for it because you're using their Netflix account.
so you think about all the stuff that Netflix has on it. Like, what could you possibly offer that could entertain me as much as a $15 a month Netflix subscription? The answer is zero. You have nothing. You have nothing that you can justify charging $20 a month. What does HBO Max cost? Like $12? Disney Plus costs $12 as well. It's what do these girls think they're doing?
And here it's Canada. It's way worse. with the price and the inflation over the years.
Hayden lives in
Ever
Canada,
since
and me and Will are from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, we
They have the
actually
oil baron money.
own several slaves. Several Sunni slaves belong to Jared and I. That's a little culture
So
for you.
I think the max you can do on an OnlyFans is $50, and
There's
that's
a max
only.
on it, really?
I'm pretty sure there is.
I thought they can
$50
put
a
single
month?
donations in on their own
Yeah.
of like $100 or whatever they want.
I've
Well,
heard
yeah, you
now.
can simp if you want to simp, but if you want to see the pictures, I thought 50 was the max.
I thought it was like you do, like some girls say their OnlyFans is free, but like
Well, yeah, you can do that.
you only see like pictures of like them in bikinis and stuff like that.
Yeah, you
Exclusive
get the
content,
countless
I looked
spokes
it up.
on their bicycle wheel.
$50, and the amount creators can be tipped to 100, so you can pay for their content and then get more money.
Did
to
you
show
just
that
look
you
that
really
up?
care. Yeah.
Nice. We got
Did you check the
research going.
notes on that one?
Did you get that off of Wikipedia? You're not allowed to use
Yeah.
Wikipedia, Jared.
Never.
I asked one of my Saudi Arabian slaves. He did. We pay them well.
I like how in this scenario we pay our slave.
For good work, quality pay.
Good guy. Good guy.
I would like to be like, this is my slave, and meanwhile he gets paid $52,000 a year with
Yeah,
like.
I wouldn't want free slaves.
He has a cell phone to look things up. Call for help, man.
He's wearing like designer brands. He's got like an
Yes,
autographed
My
Tom
slave
Brady
dresses
jersey.
well, he's well fed. I don't want some cheap ass slave that's
If
falling
I
apart.
was rich enough to
Can't
own a
stay
slave,
awake.
I would make sure my slave gets better care than like a person working in America on minimum wage.
You would literally at least have health care.
So yeah, so I would be like to this American, I would like go to America, be like, this is my slave, and this like the American would be like, man, at least I have it better than him. He's a slave. I mean, like, oh, he has dental.
Yeah, look at his teeth. They're all in line. Now, I would do the same thing, but only for the express purpose that when I battle my slave against another slave, his teeth won't fall out when he bites the skull of his enemy to get a good grip.
Like Caprio likes doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly, down to a T.
I think that's what all of us think when we think of that.
That's what we all want,
Not
really.
to be
deep down.
racist or anything.
Yeah,
We're really
What we
starting
like
out on
is
our way.
control. That's what it's all about.
yeah.
That's what gets
what-
everybody hard.
That's why I watch domination porn.
I was
That's what I'm
thinking.
trying to buy on OnlyFans.
So
but
anyway,
I just can't
I was
find
talking
it.
to
That's
this
it,
girl
right?
about her
Oh,
OnlyFans.
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go on.
All right, I was like, all right, so you can't charge more than a Netflix subscription a month.
Did she get offended over that?
And she was like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Good,
So I was
good.
like, all right. So you could let's start with like, because
You're
you're
her pimp.
unknown. You're unknown, right? No one knows you. No one really
Mhm.
cares. You gotta beat the competition here. You gotta go like $12 minimum at the start. But I said you should start at $8 a month because $8 a month is a pretty good deal. So I'm like, and she's like, yeah, I'll start it up and I'll do $8 a month. I was like, well, and also, since the fact that I, have been giving you great marketing advice, I believe I deserve a discount. I think I should only be charged $2 a month.
You need a purple hat and like a purple coat and a cane.
Yeah. So I started talking her into this, and she's like, yeah, you should. You should be a part of my marketing team. And I'm like, all right. Well, I don't want to be directly involved with this because I have.
I don't want my name on.
Yeah. But $2 a month is $2 a month.
It's $2 that you're giving to her, by the way.
And she's like, yeah, I'm all for that. And I'm like, what are you talking? All right. How
I think
about?
she just wants any source of income. So
Yeah.
she'll
And
take
I was
your
like, how desperate are you for money? She's like, well,
I'll suck
I.
a dick.
I was gonna say, you probably could have said, "You want to go hump in the back room?"
Yeah. She was like, I
I
just.
hope she survives the winter.
I don't want to work 2 jobs anymore. I want to earn $700 a week. I'm like, well, I don't know if you're gonna be earning $700 a week. So anyway, that was like the gist of that conversation, and I'm just like, I'm stunned by the fact that like where we've gone as a society, right? Because it used to be that you worked a job, and then you got like a good job, high-paying job that you would stay there for like 30 to 50 years, whatever. And you get like that like goodbye party type thing.
Then you get a gold watch.
Yeah, and like they get all the employees that you worked with like pool their money to get you a nice TV or something like that.
I don't think that happens.
But
I don't think
now-
that was a thing ever.
Oh, that was the thing. That's what happened.
Definitely in movies.
That's what happened with my dad when he retired from the fire department. They all pooled their money together and gave him like a $2,500 certificate to get a
IHOP.
yeah, to a flat screen, to get him a flat screen TV.
That's different though. Like firefighters are like family.
Yeah, I guess. But, still. Now it's like I'm poor. Why not start an OnlyFans?
Instead of
Not
finding
you.
a good job.
Not you.
Some of us.
Men start podcasts. Women start
Yes.
OnlyFans.
Yes. It's 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, if this
Mhm.
podcast fails, I'm going to have to go join the Marines. that's my...
There's this girl.
I don't want them in the Marine.
Well, neither do I. There's this girl who's one of the highest earners on OnlyFans, and she just pretends to be a dog. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Like she doesn't take her clothes off or anything. There's just a guy that like yells commands at her, and she's just on her knees, and
I mean, I don't give money to my dog, so that's it's breaking the role play there.
she's nice looking.
I
As a
bet.
dog,
Would
bit
she
odd.
pass as a dog?
She's pretending to be a dog.
no, she couldn't. She could pass as a human though.
Human on all fours.
So, another thing, obviously, if this is going up the correct way in the correct format, people should be looking at us playing Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Thanks for explaining that to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case that some people out there only have 2.5 brain cells.
Whoa, good kill, Hayden.
Yeah. Gotta get used to this treatment, everybody. It's gonna keep coming at you.
But I just wanted to talk about the comeback about from this game of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Because Jared, you and I were like, Hayden didn't play Star Wars Battlefront 2 until just recently. But
I played it when I was a kid.
well, no, not the original one.
Oh, gee.
Okay.
Just talking about the Star Wars Battlefront 2, the comeback. Isn't it just? Is there a game in gaming history that has like had a comeback like Star Wars Battlefront 2?
I mean, not one that I've played. I know some people talk about. There's like Final Fantasy 14 apparently was terrible, and
That
they
doesn't
saved
count.
it.
That doesn't count.
Oh yeah, we don't have a Japanese audience yet.
No, we don't. Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
I was gonna
The
say.
biggest problem is they released the game without conquest, and that is like the foundation of Battlefront. And they didn't with the first game either, so it took them a game release, and then like another year and a half for them to finally release what made Battlefront Battlefront. So they were held back by that, and I think that's probably one of the reasons they stopped production on the game
Yeah,
so
and
early.
I was gonna ask, what do you think about the decision to like to stop updating the game like they've made?
I think they did that because they took a lot of heat for that game, and they gave away so much free content post-launch that they just EA was EA and was like, all right, we can't keep doing this. We need to keep releasing games like Star Wars Squadrons or Jedi Fallen Order. We're actually making money instead of just giving people free content.
Yeah,
And the microtransactions, people don't really use those because, I mean, at first they were really predominant, and then they took them away. So you don't even really need them. You can just get in-game upgrades.
Are there microtransactions in this game?
Yes, they're called crystals.
I thought they took those out.
No, they took them out at first, and then they put them back in, and they're not nearly as insane, like I was saying, as they were. Like, you don't even realize they're in the game because you don't need them, but they're there. So they're good. They're pretty good, I think, if you're gonna do microtransactions.
The thing with this game that I think is that we're kind of the Star Wars community is kind of in the same way we were in back in 2005 when Battlefront 2 came out with the original, because like it brought in on so many new and cool features and gameplay options. And this one didn't really bring any new gameplay options. It just like brought back the old gameplay options that we loved and just kind of made the game look pretty and just treated us like we were adults instead of babies. And because of that, now the fandom is back and we're all really looking forward to the future.
Player count on every platform for that game is insane. I mean, they gave it away for free on PlayStation, and then it's free on Xbox Game Pass. But PC, like, the player count is insane. It's higher than it's ever been.
And the thing with that is that now we're all excited. We were excited for what new stuff they could add in, and then it just kind of ended. And now there's no sort. Now we're kind of just waiting for Battlefront 3 again, and it's crazy to me because
That's not gonna happen.
we might. Well, I don't think we're gonna get it. I think it's gonna be a whole another like 8 years or something like that. Someone else is gonna buy the license, and we're gonna go through another 2 garbage games. And then they're going to have to get rid of the license, and it's going to be a repeating system.
I've heard that story so many times.
What do you mean?
Of not getting a game for 8 years, having 2 way worse
games come out. You got an Elder Scrolls player in the house.
Hey, the Elder Scrolls, great. All right? Elder Scrolls
is it, Hayden? Do you want to share to us what your story is with Skyrim? What you think of?
What I think is very equivalent to this is Fable. I'll bring it back there if you want. That's the first one. Everyone loved it, even though it's still not technically a good game if you play it now. And then we got 2 horrible games coming out, and then it went on hiatus for I don't know how long it's been since that game came. It's almost 20 years since people got a good Fable game.
Really good.
The answer to that is 0. None of them are good. And
people will, I guess, applaud the Fable 2 for you get a dog in it that you can pet. That's pretty good. And then the rest of everything's bad.
I've played Fable 2 and Fable 3. Fable 3, Hayden wrapped me into it because he was like, we could play it together.
Yeah, I tricked him.
He definitely tricked me because he can only be like a ghost in my world or something, and I can like follow his footprints. And that's it. He can't interact with my world. All they can do is just help me out.
That whole franchise, they got a lot of money when the whole RPG cat genre of games came up. They were like headlining it because they're like
three-
the first games. You can make your own choices, and good or bad.
Well, yeah. Are those 3 games like the Mass Effect games where they like intertwine with each other, or are they just
No.
random different games?
They're basically random in a sense. I mean, they tried to link them together,
It's
but all the stories are basically separate.
The best way I can describe Fable is like if you took Game of Thrones, you took like a serious, like nice, sophisticated story, like Game of Thrones, and you threw it out the window.
I think Will's saying that because it's got the medieval
Just
aesthetic.
like
And-
the Lannister kid when he jumped out the window.
Yeah, you throw that Game of Thrones out the window, and you just take all the comedy that doesn't land in Game of Thrones, and you put that into a game,
Yeah,
and
it tries
that's-
to be funny.
and then that's what Fable is.
Well, then what's the new game going to be about? And are you even excited for it then?
For the
Because
Fable
you're shitting
4.
on it a lot. The
I
new
am
one.
unbelievably excited for the one that's coming out.
Well, why?
I've been waiting for it for so long. It's made by, I guess, a good team of developers that work on, I think, Forza, right? I believe that's them.
Yes. I did know that actually.
And I just feel like they're actually a game studio that can handle themselves and not lie to everybody. I feel like
So
they'll
it's
put
not-
together.
It's not a MOBA? I thought I heard it was a MOBA.
I don't think so. I think it's going straight to RPG single player kind of game.
Oh, thank God. That's what I love.
Because if they tried to do anything, I mean, Elder Scrolls tried to do Elder Scrolls Online after Skyrim blew up, and all they did was make a worse MMO than you can play anywhere else. But this one costs a lot of money, and there's in-game transactions everywhere.
I'm just curious why, like, it wasn't E3, but Xbox's conference they did. Everyone was so hyped for Fable
Everyone
before it was
really?
announced. Yeah, everyone was talking about, oh, they're going to announce Fable. They're going to announce Fable, and everyone was so hyped. And I was like, I don't even really know
because
what
it was.
Fable is.
I felt like I was on the inside. I was
People
like getting
were
all the
excited.
information.
People were excited for Fable, and I don't
Oh,
understand
people
why.
still are. People are out of their minds.
I don't
Just
get
because
it.
nostalgia is the only reason at all. If anyone ever played any of the other Fable games at all when they were an adult, like now recently, no one's excited for it. If you played
you
it when you
think-
were back when you were a kid, you're excited for
Like, 2 of my favorite franchises, I'll use Resident Evil as an example. Like, I think they should stop making Resident Evil games.
it. Yeah.
But the old ones are
How
so
many-
good that when they remake them, it's like, oh my God, this is everything I could have wanted.
There's
It's like,
like,
should they have just done that with Fable, or should they have made the new one?
there's like
I think they should make a new one. I think they
You
could
think they
tell
should
it.
fix the old game?
There's a whole story going on with the first game. If you just read books and stuff, you can get a whole storyline. The idea is they're either gonna scrap the first 2 games by writing in some shoehorn. None of that matters anymore. We're starting from here, or they're gonna go back in time before the first one came out and tell in some fantastical world with a bunch of different magic and whatnot going on. Those are the 2 possibilities. Either or is fine with me. I don't care if they shoehorn off that horrible storyline where you become a king
I can
and do
see it
nothing.
like a God of War kind of thing because it's been so long and so many people haven't
Yeah,
played
they got
Fable.
options. Yeah, no one's gonna care if they do their own storyline with the setting or the characters or anything at all.
Well, I guess I'm kind of hyped for it. I might play it.
I'm definitely playing it, and I'll probably upset again. I'm probably
yeah, I
gonna
was
be
gonna say,
upset.
what are your hopes for it? Though? Like we talk about Bethesda when it comes.
If I plot all the data points, Fable 1, Fable 2, even Fable 3, and then that Fable game that they tried to launch that was the what you get 4 friends together, 3 of them are heroes and one of them's the bad guy, and he's doing he's overwatching and making things happen in the little
Evolve?
chambers. Yeah, it was like Evolve basically, except instead of you being the monster, you're just like the game master looking overhead the game board, and then the 3 heroes are actually in first person down in the thing, and you get to try to mess with them, stop them from winning.
That's always fun. The first Doom game had that, I think.
Yeah, it was cool, and then it immediately got canceled. I think immediately. I don't know why. I guess they ran out of money. So projecting all this onto a data board, I think the next game is gonna suck, and that's gonna be the end. I think it's gonna suck. I think I'm gonna play it. I think I'm gonna beat it. I think I'm gonna play it again, and then I think I'm gonna tell nobody to buy it ever.
Because I wanted to talk
actually-
about. I want to talk
I
about.
feel his pain because if there's a new Mass Effect game, I'm gonna feel the exact same way that he feels right now. So I get it. I get it.
Mass
I don't-
Effect 3 and 2 are great.
I think the first one's great too. It needs work.
I don't know if I'm like that way with any game franchise right now. I'd have to think about it. Maybe with
God of
Peggle.
War, I mean, Godzilla movies. That's probably
Godzilla movies, yeah. I'm like a big Godzilla fan, and like I'm excited for Godzilla versus Kong. But there is a chance that movie sucks.
You can watch that movie for free.
Yeah,
basically.
on HBO
Yeah,
Max.
HBO Max.
My parents will be paying for it, so.
Just like they pay for all my OnlyFans accounts I watch.
The thing I wanted to talk about with your Skyrim thing, Hayden, is because like,
yes.
How many times have you played Skyrim?
I've played it constantly since it's been out.
Yeah, how many times have you beaten the story and everything?
I couldn't tell you. It came out in 2011, man, and I've played it nonstop
Like
since
10,
then till now.
11 times through, something like
No,
that.
even more than that. Even more.
So like
you
30
play the
times.
game, not even caring about the story. You just do your own thing.
You can't.
The hours pile up.
The story.
So you put in like
you can just live your life as a deer hunter and sell your deer meat.
Hours do you think you've played of Skyrim?
Man, probably an embarrassing amount.
all right,
Couldn't tell
and
I half of my life.
and answer
half
this
of my
question.
conscious hours.
And answer this question for me. You say you spent half your life playing this game. And can you answer me this question?
Round it
Is
down.
the game good or bad?
I think the game. It depends.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It depends. As a game that has a ability to reach a wide audience, it's great.
Don't walk
Couldn't
over
be
this
better.
line. Be on one
As-
side or the other. You tell us. You tell the audience
Look,
what you
you
said
had
to
the
us.
same issue. You have the same issue I have, even though I've been playing it for years. When you got thrown in prison, you're like, why can't I just melt the bars? I have fire magic.
Yeah, but
There's a
you're
That's the
deflecting.
reason.
You're deflecting.
the
You're
game
deflecting.
holds no. The game holds your hand, and it has to in order to, because it spans all these. There's all this different stuff in it. There's all the different types of magic you can do, but you can go to prison and they take away your weapons, but you can't then break out of prison with fireballs and whatnot. No explosions. You can't bust down doors. There's the whole thing is very. It's like playing on a playground with children's toys. None of it really matters or does anything other than its express purpose.
So you think the game sucks?
I think the game isn't tied together in a big
No,
unifying
you think
way.
the game isn't good.
If they spent a lot of time and made everything relate to each other and got some nerd to be like, actually, the fire would melt the ice, so you can't dual wield both an ice spell and a fire spell. They'll make it into a water one or something like that. Then it would be even better.
Yeah, but I'm a little upset at you because here's the thing. About 6 months ago, he comes to us and says, "Guys, I just completed playing Skyrim for the 452nd time. The game sucks." That's what you said to us. You said
Yes,
the game
it sucks in that way. This is what I realized.
You said
Look,
no.
If
You said
everybody
the
who
game
buys
sucks.
Skyrim and everybody plays it for 500 hours, they're gonna come to my exact response. and you know what? If at that point the game succeeds in what it's trying to do,
And
getting everybody
this
to play
unleashed a big debate
500 hours.
between us.
and
'Cause
then
you
being
can't play a game for thousands of hours and then just say, it sucks.
No, look, you're having a good time, and then you find the flaw. All right, it takes a long time to find the flaw.
But
in
that's
Skyrim.
not-
There's all the bright, colorful flowers, and look, there's a mountain over there. You can go there, and all that stuff. Once you get down, past through it, you see the problem that you're just.
I sort of
playing in
get
a
it.
kid's sandbox.
You're
No,
so elite
don't
that when
defend
you
him.
look at
Don't defend him.
I do kind of get it. He's so elite that when he sees the basic things that when he started out, he was like, "Oh, this is so cool." It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's fucking
the-
stupid now."
I mean,
The rosy sunglasses are gone, and I'm no longer surprised when something else
If
falls.
I
Look at
was-
this hammer I got.
if I was a
It's
billionaire
just
for
reskinned it.
40 years, I bet you I could find some sort of flaw with being a billionaire. But at the end of the day, I'm
Taxes.
still a billionaire who can do anything he wants. You're playing a game for thousands of hours,
Mhm.
having the time of your life, spending so
Yeah.
much time. When you're playing the game, you're having fun, and that's all that
Yeah.
games is supposed to do. Then you have the
I'm
gall,
with you.
the gall
Yes.
to say the game sucks after
Yeah.
after your 400th playthrough.
All this makes sense. All this makes sense. It makes sense because I realized why I don't like it anymore. I can't really play it. I try as hard as I can. The mods make it way easier to try, but I can't get in. Now I hop
never
into
tried the
Skyrim.
mods.
I got the mods on. I'm like, wow, I'm in a whole different world now. Everything looks different. These buildings, I've never seen these people I've never talked to before. All new experiences, ready to play even more Skyrim in a whole new way. I can't do it. It's still the same thing.
See, and that's just
It's
crazy.
still not fully fleshed out. I mean, they sold itself as a one big open world with an economy and all that. None of that's true. That was a lie.
And therefore, the game sucks.
It didn't work. It never did. But they packaged it, sold it to everybody. They made everything generalized so that everybody can understand it. And it sold like wildfire. It was hotcakes galore, Skyrim. That's why it's on every platform, and it's easily digestible. It's like just it's eating sugary stuff. That's what Skyrim is.
What do we all think right now about the current
But it's a
state
big pile of sugar.
of Bethesda? Where do you think Skyrim's going? Like the State of the Union.
They're
What's
dangerously falling close to becoming every other AAA title of game, like Call of Duty.
I think it's even worse.
I think they're gonna get better because of Microsoft.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know if Microsoft is like known for making companies.
Yeah, they're not, but
They
they
have, like,
got
a
money,
corporate
so hopefully
overlord staring at them.
hopefully Bethesda.
Yeah, but
won't have
doesn't
to
EA
put out
have a
horrible
corporate
games to
overlord
try to make
staring
money
at them?
again.
Like-
Yeah, but I think that Microsoft is different because they own an entire console and they have a much bigger picture than EA does.
See, but like Disney owns all the Star Wars,
And it's
And-
getting better.
but then Disney was like, axe it, cut it down. We're not making. Disney was like, we're not making enough money off of this. You might as well stop working on it. And EA was
I think
like, okay.
pre the Microsoft deal, I genuinely don't think that Skyrim game was going to come out. But now that Microsoft owns them, that game's coming out. There's no chance it's not coming out now.
See, I disagree.
Definitely,
I thought
definitely
that
the
game.
next Elder
I thought
Scrolls
Elder
was coming
Scrolls
out
was
regardless.
always coming out regardless.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
that
just the
space
Fallout
game.
title.
I don't even think that game
Fallout
exists.
IPs, whatever. I don't know when the next Fallout game's coming out, but they
It's
do
gonna
have
be a
that.
while.
They
They're
have that
making a space
idea
game.
of
Whatever
a
that's
space
called.
game. Yeah, I can't remember
That's
what
almost done, apparently.
I don't even know if I'll try that one.
Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah, that game's gonna suck.
Why would you play that when you could play Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds is great.
I'm assuming Starfield's going to be bigger in scope.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be like the Skyrim of Outer Worlds. Nobody wants to play that, all right? We want something small, compact, and fully fleshed out.
Yeah, I think a lot of games now are just going by the mistake of just saying, let's make it as
Too
big as we
bloated.
can make it.
Yeah, Obsidian realized when they made Outer Worlds that they're like, we can't compete with the AAA games. So let's make it small. Let's have our characters deep and meaningful and have them have relationships with each other.
It's
And
literally
actually
every Sony game that comes out.
Like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot might be the game of the year this year, guys.
Bandicoot.
It might be the game of the year.
Oh yeah, have you played it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on
When I was a kid, yeah.
I'm on the level where
Talk about the new one.
you have to you get drafted into Vietnam and you got to fight in Khe Sanh.
Yeah, and you jump and you twirl into the trees to get everybody.
Want me to tell a Nom story on the podcast?
Yes, I do.
No.
I do.
I
I want
don't.
you to tell me your Vietnam
offended.
experience.
I'm offended.
Well, I worked with a guy that was in Nam.
Did he bring a gun to school?
No, but he brought his plaques saying his kill count, and it scared all the girls in the mailroom.
Cool. Cool dude.
By far my favorite story he's ever told, and he's told me dozens. He was a helicopter gunner.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
It was pretty dope. Yeah. He was flying one day. It was a quiet day. Not much was going on that day, and they were just flying over this like hilly, insert Creedence Clearwater. He's just flying over these trees, and he says one Vietnamese guy just comes out of the woods, out of nowhere, wearing a bright yellow rain jacket and open firing with an AK at our helicopter. He's alone. Everyone can see him because of the yellow rain jacket. And Jim just goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have said his name." He just goes, he's like, I looked at him. We were all staring at him. He wasn't hitting us because he was like firing with one arm. And I just turned the gun and I cut that son of a bitch right in half.
That's an American hero, right?
And that's uniquely
That's the story.
That summarizes exactly what the American military did in Vietnam.
Dude, he's told me some crazy stuff that like people don't know about, like how they hired
being there, but
Chinese assassins
some
and
random
stuff.
guy comes out, tries to defend his land, and we just cut him in half.
No, dude, it was in the woods. It was in the woods. It was like William Dafoe.
Yeah, it was probably
not being shot at yet.
the Vietnamese probably sell off bits of the woods to different people of the population.
He was alone.
Like how we buy houses, you know?
And he thought for some reason he could take on a helicopter with a
I
yellow range.
I think he was confused.
I think he was funny. That's what I think. I think he was pulling a stunt.
He was trying to be humorous.
I wish he was on the
I
podcast.
think Ashton Kutcher told him, "I was like, go on out there. Don't worry. You won't get. There's no damage. We're gonna tell him that it's an episode of Punk. Don't worry. Just go right on out there."
He could have been firing blanks. I mean, Jim said he wasn't hitting them.
And then he yelled, and then he went out, and started firing his gun, and he was just waiting, sweating profusely because he was waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out and say, "You've been punked." But Ashton Kutcher never came out.
Instead, a bullet came right through his waist.
It's like the scene in Braveheart where Braveheart's wife is looking at the tree line, waiting for him to come and save her.
They want to take our freedom.
But the thing with games though right now is that I don't feel like they're improving at all. I just feel like they're not going anywhere interesting whatsoever.
No, the graphics just get better sometimes. Sometimes they.
And like the same thing with movies right now. I don't think movies are in a very interesting position right now because like just yesterday or whatever it was, Warner Brothers announced that their entire lineup's coming into HBO Max day
Their
one.
2021 lineup. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's like Matrix 4, Godzilla.
Did you even know they were making another Matrix?
Yeah.
They're making another Matrix.
What?
They are.
What do we need to learn? What do we need to learn about the Matrix
Apparently,
franchise and the Matrix 4?
Lawrence Fishburne isn't going to be in it.
So Lawrence Fishburne is going to be in it.
Who's going to give us the build?
I don't know.
So
Well, Keanu Reeves is in it.
Here's what's going to happen with Matrix 4. Keanu Reeves is going to be in the Matrix, and he's going to be training like the next generation of Matrixers. And then all of a sudden, in the Matrix, the Agent Smith is going to come in, pick up a program in a puppy, and snap its neck right in front of Keanu Reeves, and that's going to be the storyline for Matrix 4. That's what it's going to be. Guys,
I'd watch that one. I'd watch it.
He's going to pick up a
Yeah, I
dog,
would too.
a CGI.
You had me at Keanu Reeves.
Why would you watch that?
I haven't
I
even
like
seen
it
John
a
Wick
lot.
3 yet. I know I would watch
No,
that.
pretty good.
John Wick is just. I know that Jared and I have differing opinions, but I think John Wick is just like, it's just been squeezed. Every single creative thing that made John Wick great has just
That
been
first
squeezed
one was
out.
a great little movie of its own.
Yeah, and the
I think
second
it's
one.
some of the best action movies today. That and
Yeah,
Mission
you gotta
Impossible.
respect.
Oh yeah, the action's
work
great,
puts in.
but I'm sick of it. I mean, it's.
I could watch it all day. I've seen it 3 times. The third one.
Really, it's that the third one's that good. Maybe I'll watch it.
The second one's the best. You should really.
The second
focus on
one,
the
I
second
hated the second one.
What?
The opening scene was dumb. The opening scene was hilariously bad. I couldn't get into it. Or
The
whatever.
car?
Yeah, wherever when he's taking his car back, he breaks the front window shield 3 times, and they just keep replacing it, and he drives out like nothing happened.
Oh yeah, I think it's hilarious.
I
I'd love that.
remember. I remember before I saw that
Spend all
movie.
this money on reloading the gun when he needs to, the way he holds it, and then they just magically put the car back together. How? They keep breaking it. That's a lot of work to fix.
Hey, it's John Wick's car.
Well, if you don't like it, you can just play as him in Fortnite. I bet you that's what you do anyways.
Are you lying? Are you lying? Can you really play as John Wick in Fortnite?
Dude, you can play as the Mandalorian now, and you can play as Kratos.
God. Why do people play Fortnite? Why do they do it?
I think they're adding Master Chief too.
No.
Seriously, I saw
No,
the thing. It was
I'm not
Kratos
gonna
and
let
Master
that
Chief.
happen. I'm not gonna let it happen.
Money. I would like to play as Mr. Krabs, only saying the word money over and over.
That would be the greatest character in Fortnite. He has no gun. He has nothing.
He's got the claw.
He just goes over to players, grabs their guns and everything they picked up, and then like the characters, like the players, just like, "Why are you taking my gun?" And then Mr. Krabs goes, "Money." And then the players die.
Yeah, I can't take any damage unless I'm underwater.
I can't
and
wait.
I can't feel anything.
I
either.
can't wait until the next generation, after the Xbox Series S and PS5 come out. The next consoles, I predict, will have a coin slot in somewhere in there, and every time you die, you can put in another coin to like continue living. I think
Get
that's
another 15 minutes to play.
Get another 15 minutes.
It's not gonna be a coin slot. We're way past that. You're just gonna have to insert your mom's credit card into the side.
It has to be your mom's though. That's the thing. It has to be your mom.
Yeah.
If you're playing Madden Ultimate Team, it's essential that you get your mom's purse. It's essential.
In fact, that's the other part of the controller. Sometimes, like you'll see those Wii things or the PlayStation Move, get up and move.
Yeah, there's a
where they got
hotkey.
the joysticks. For the new Xbox, it's going to be a one-handed controller in your mom's purse. Is the other guy.
No, I
You need
think
her
it's gonna
thumb
be a
scan.
regular. I think it's gonna be a regular controller, and it's gonna be like, all right, you got to pay $15. Press Y to access your mom's
Yeah.
credit card.
Tap Y as fast as you can.
Enter in that three that 3-number code that you always forget.
It'd be even funnier if people were doing like VR and it says in the thing like, "Kill your mom, get her card," and you just walk in with the VR headset still on, get her from the purse.
It says "kill mom."
Kill mom, demand the money.
And you don't even blink; you just do it instantly. You just...
Mm-hmm. Then
Yeah,
whose fault is it at that
attached to
point?
your head.
Is it the consumer or the producer?
That's what the
It's the producer.
that's what the president has to say.
We have freedom of speech for a reason. You
You've
know?
been indoctrinated. I don't think it's that much of your fault anymore.
How far away are we from the gaming industry becoming like lobbyists in Congress? Like, is that coming up anytime soon?
Well, I think they already are. My
they?
reasoning is because they paid everybody to stop saying it was video games causing the problems. Back when there were shootings and my kid was smoking marijuana, I think it's the video games. He's been playing all that GTA. I think he's gonna start being a criminal.
It's not the game, the gun's fault.
I think I think that's still
That whole problem was in like the early 2000s. It's
no
gone
that
now.
that problem
Why
still
is that? Why is it gone?
that excuse is still prevalent. I've seen it happen. By the way, can we talk about real quickly how there have been no mass shootings? People like to think that America's been doing bad. Show me when's the last school shooting that's happened. Show me.
I don't know. Trump's America. It's pretty good.
All it
online
took.
privacy hacks.
People said
No,
the
that's been going
economy
up.
was getting better. I don't know.
All
Maybe
it
it
took
has.
was a global pandemic, and
No.
we stopped school shootings. People always thought, like, what was the answer to stop school shootings? Was it to ban assault rifles? Was it to add more assault rifles? The answer
Was masks. That's what. Put a mask on everyone's face and they get embarrassed.
Eating bats.
Go home.
The answer is just to start a global pandemic. Have some people from China get sick, ship them all over the world, and then watch.
You let slip the dogs of war. Go.
Do you think
Get
the
them all.
aliens do you think like we don't pay attention to like ants? Do you think that's how they look at us?
I think so.
Chinese people?
Well, Jesus.
What? They look us like ants?
I
Do you
think.
think they just look at us as so like inconsequential?
Yeah, I do. Because if an alien species has the power and technology to come over here, like if we had the power and technology to go to
Well, yeah,
like
obviously
a species
they
that
could
we
kill us in
know is
seconds.
intelligent, but they're like 400 light years away and they can't even contact us, like would we even look at
No
them?
consequences.
Would we even look at them and bat an
Well,
eye, or would we just
that's
go
what I'm saying.
over,
People are like,
take all
is
their
there
water,
alien,
and then
is
go?
there alien
We'd go
life
to
on
war
our
with them
planet?
and
Like,
win.
why would there be? You don't pay attention to ants, do you? You're
If
not
there was an
looking at
alien
animals.
species that was somewhere out there and we could go to their home planet and we would talk to them and be like, oh my God, guys, we found life out there. Isn't that cool? Oh, they got some stuff that would be very nice to have. Maybe we'll try trading. It's getting expensive now. They can't hurt Earth. Let's go bomb them and take their stuff.
Give
It's
them some
similar.
bats.
The
Tell
same thing
them
as if
that it
you
helps.
have a big castle that you put your family in. You can now go assault everyone else, and they can't do nothing to you until they get a castle. Then you got to start sieging everybody, and that's a lot of work. It's the same thing. They're just really far away, and they can't hurt us. So let's go hurt them for their stuff.
They're probably
That's what I
taking their
think
stuff.
about. That's my entire perspective on aliens.
You know, there's a lot of alien talk right now in the news, like with this whole like metal
No one cares.
thing of like, yeah, I don't even care. Like this.
Are you sure, Will? I think you do care.
No, I don't care about this one. I only care when like
This- yeah.
there's a leaked thing from the Pentagon of like a fighter jet, like a fighter pilot trailing an obvious UFO. Like, oh,
That guy went on Rogan.
that's that is proof. For me, right there, that's when I was like, all right, aliens exist. And now I've just kind of been going through the motions.
Watch
'Cause-
Fire in the Sky. You'll believe it.
Because to me, if there's
Watch Fighter and the Kid, and you'll shoot yourself in the head.
video
Watch
evidence
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
of
You'll
an
believe
obvious UFO flying through the sky, and the pilot is later
Yeah, I've
interviewed,
seen some of those. Yeah.
and it says, "Yeah, it wasn't obeying the laws of physics like we know." All right, yeah, that's all I need to hear. Aliens exist.
Dude, the guy that
Yeah,
got
that's a weird
abducted
one.
from Fire in the Sky was in like Montana or something. He's like such a introvert. Like he refuses to like go and talk about it, and his family had to convince him after like years.
To talk about it?
Do you think mainly
Actually talk
he was
about it, yeah.
refusing to talk about it because he knew he was lying, and he was like, "This is embarrassing."
Well, he's not doing it for attention. He hates people. Like he doesn't like being around people.
Likely story that somebody who gets abducted doesn't like being around me. Seems like
The
a prime
opposite.
What are you, a
candidate for
pussy?
Somebody getting abducted.
What are you, a little pussy bitch? You don't like talking about aliens? What were you abducted by one or something?
Why would you lie about it if you're not trying to get money and fame and attention? This guy
Yeah.
got none of that.
I don't even know who he is.
I mean, you can look it up. You can watch the movie.
What is Fire in the Sky
I
about
watched
again?
What inspired the movie?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think aliens.
The guy I was just talking about.
I just want to know what the movie was about. I didn't know what the movie was about. Like,
Oh,
how
it's
does
just
the guy
about
get
a-
abducted?
I don't even remember.
Is he driving his car and then 15 minutes goes by? and
There's
he's
like this really iconic
"Oh,
scene of
lost
him on
time."
the ship, and they like pull his eye back so he can't blink, and they just put a needle like straight into it. They wrap him up in
So
like this.
they got an actor to play him in a movie.
Yes,
They should have gotten the guy. He just kept screaming over. So
they should have
we're
actually done it.
we're
actually
40
stabbed.
we're like 48 minutes or something like that. I don't know how the editing process is gonna go into the podcast. I wanted to end it by talking about how it's been going. 'Cause I have a Hayden, you know this. I have a very significant mouse problem in my home right now, in the basement. What they like to do is they like to go into the little place where I put soap into the washing machine, a little slit, and they like to go right in there and they like to crawl and they take big pisses and shits right in there. That's what they like to do.
They got the confidence, is what
Yeah,
that means.
so
they know they're untouchable.
I realized
Like
now,
those aliens really far away.
like 2 years ago, this was happening. So I put a bunch of I immediately started using chemical warfare, and I wiped them out, or so I thought, because I guess 2 of them must have survived, and they've all bred and they've all come back. And so now I
You
put
got herd
new
immunity
chemical,
to your viruses.
new chemical.
It's called cold
Traps.
weather.
I put new chemical traps down there. They don't touch them. They're done. No, they ain't eating it.
They ain't touching this stuff. It's bad for you.
Ain't touching it. And so what I'm now realizing is that I need to use glue traps. That's what I need to use.
Those are my favorite.
Now my parents don't want to use glue
Listen to him
traps.
scream.
They don't
Yeah,
want to
they
use.
do make. They only make a gurgly noise as half the goo is entering their mouth.
They don't want to use glue traps because they think it's inhumane.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Now, what do
It's
you
very
guys do?
funny because my mom thought the exact opposite when I was a boy. We lived in a rather
tell me
poor
about that.
house, and the kitchen was like slightly lower. You had to take like a step down into this kitchen that was attached to the backyard. Anyways, weirdly shaped house, by the way, ramshackle. And
He
of
has
course,
healthcare, everybody. Don't worry.
yeah, I didn't get any infection. No, like a rat would bite me and I'd be fine. But because of Trudeau, give me healthcare. But my mom was like, "Oh, I don't want to kill them, so I'll use the glue traps." And then I came home from school one day, ate my peanut butter sandwich, watched an episode of SpongeBob, go down to the kitchen, put my dishes away, and there's a big old rat lying sideways. Harvey Dent from Batman. It's like screaming something in mouse language. I assume it was Rachel. And he was twitching. One arm was bent.
No, why are you coming for me?
And then we had
The
to
story took a turn I wasn't expecting.
had to peel it off, and it wanted to die at that point. I think it died from shock. Eventually, it did stop moving, as all rats do. When their brain overheats from freaking out. Normally, if you have a bunch of rats all enclosed together, they'll start killing and eating each other to get some personal space. This one killed itself because it had no space to move at all.
I guess it was similar to Harvey's death.
Yes, heartbroken as he was. So we switched to normal traps because then you just have it dead and throw it away.
You should have said in that moment, as your mom's like screaming, like, "You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain."
Yeah. And my mom turned to be the villain when
My
she
parents
tried to be.
don't want me to use a glue trap because they think, well, what if it steps on the glue trap at midnight and then I don't wake up at until like 10 a.m. to go check
Then
on
it's
it.
done its job.
And I say, listen, it's a mouse. First of all, it all it does is spread disease. That's all it does.
It sounds like
My
we're in that
mom-
mouse book
my
where the
mom was
Germans put a
saying-
cat right now.
My mom was saying that I got a sparrow
Mouse.
trapped in a glue trap and it was awful. I was like, well, that's a bird. That has credence to live. That has a reason to live. Birds have, and they actually make a difference. A mouse makes no difference. There's
They
a
just
million
hide in
of
your
them.
walls and eat your food.
There's a million of them
Spread
around
disease.
everywhere. And getting it caught in a glue trap is honestly the ethical thing. Because it gets trapped, it lives, and then what you have to do is you take a hammer and you smash its brains in.
That way, it can't get away to reproduce or tell its offspring, "Hey, don't step in the chemical trap or don't eat those." That's
This
actually not
episode
good.
is sponsored by PETA.
You kill the messenger.
PETA kills a lot of animals.
You kill
So
the
do vegans.
messenger. That's what you do.
I don't kill nearly enough. I need to bump up my numbers. Vegans and PETA are destroying me.
Yeah, they really are. Going after their crops. Gotta kill them.
Yeah.
So I'm right now what I'm using because they don't want me to use glue traps is just regular old mouse traps.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one.
Although,
I got one, but the other, I set down a second one, and I guess he tripped the trap, but didn't die in it.
yeah, they do that.
And that sucks because then they eat the bait.
We started with the mouse trap, but what it did is it crawls on it, takes a shit, and then the trap sets off, and they eat the food, and then go take another crap somewhere else.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
amazing how much mice shit.
All you do with a mousetrap is just supply them with more ability to eat and reproduce.
Yeah,
And then the mousetrap goes off. It might kill one 10% of the time.
A glue trap is unbelievably effective. Put
Plus, it
one-
scares the other mice away.
You put one peanut down in the middle of that glue trap, and it's just over. The best part about it is that they take one step in and they're like, oh shit, I can't.
Yeah,
move.
they're freaked
But
out.
then they take another step, and then they take a couple more steps, and then they fall to the floor, and they
Yeah.
get cased in glue, like idiots. And we think that they deserve to live. They're
I think we should take all the mice and put them in one camp. Then we can kill them all in one go. We can mechanize.
We need an answer to the mouse question.
The mouse population, while not insanely high, needs to be dealt with. Otherwise, it will grow out of control. The vermin, they reproduce like animals.
They have done nothing good for society whatsoever.
All they seem to do is buy up all the good real estate.
All they do, honestly, if you look at the correlation of mouse population to 2008's housing market crash, there's a correlation.
To the fall of Athens. Those mice really do a good job.
Yeah, they were there when the lighthouse burned down in Alexandria, the library in it. They were, it was horrible.
They spread disease. They spread viruses.
Yeah, the Black Death.
If anything is to be learned,
they didn't care about if we got the Black Death, so they didn't care about us dying humanely.
If anything is to be learned by watching this podcast, it is that, or listening to this podcast, however you consume us, it's that, one, you can't charge more than Netflix subscription for an OnlyFans, and two, glue traps are the most efficient and ethical way to kill a mouse.
The only thing better than a glue trap is a firearm trap, where it's just a handgun placed on the ground.
Yeah, you were showing me a trap of...
I'm really into mouse and rat traps.
Some guy made a trap, and it's got like 2 metal barbs on it, like fish hooks.
That one's the best.
And
it's old school.
And like the mouse eats the bait, and then
it
sets off a pressure plate, and then the 2 metal prongs shoot off into his brain and hook right in.
You carve out a wooden block to make it look like a giant mouse, I guess a rat, a bit bigger though, and then you hollow out the body and carve out the eyes. So you make your own. You hand forge little spears with like hooked tips, so that they can't be pulled out easier, just to make it harder on yourself once you got a good kill. You put them in the eyes, and you make a big metal tail that you sort of wind up and crank, and then a little tongue that comes out of the mouth next to the front of the eyes where the spears are. As soon as they eat the bait off the little mouse tongue, then they get skewered. They get taken out.
The winged beast.
Yeah. The best part about it is, much like the glue trap, they aren't dead. You have to do that for yourself. They just ain't going anywhere.
What do you think about that, Jared?
Sounds hilarious to me, to be honest.
That's why you're laughing.
Sounds like a good time. I think we should think of more ways to kill these vermin.
Well,
have you ever watched a ratting video?
No.
It's like they lift concrete slabs and rats come out of them, and they have their dogs go in and just grab them and snap their necks, eat them. They're pretty popular on YouTube.
I've seen some other versions of chemical traps where they trick rats to come in. They'll, I guess, move in a single file line in a way. That's only one way to go. They make their way into this contraption, and then their feet complete a circuit on 2 metal pads, and the floor falls out underneath them, and then they fall in a box. And some of them, the box is just small, and all the rats in there kill each other, or because they have no civility. Or some of them, they set them all on fire, or there's just ones where it's full of sulfur and they suffocate. All sorts of cool traps to enclose your mice like the vermin they are, and kill them in mass quantities. You can just set these up, leave them in a spot. You don't need to ever reset them. Maybe take the bodies out of the bottom, dump it, close it off. If you want. I like to get them all together in one big bundle and bury it in mass graves.
Out your kills, collect the dog tags.
Make sure the kill is confirmed.
I want the news to see me wheelbarrowing out mass graves and dumping it all.
Number one thing when killing mice, you got to pick up the dog tags. Because if you don't, the kill is not confirmed.
Yeah,
you don't want to hurt your KD. The people at the hardware store will notice if you have a good KD.
Yeah. Also, when you're recycling the bodies, you don't want the little bits of metal that the dog tags are to get caught up in the gears. You just want the mice chunks to flow freely.
Make sure you open up the mouse's mouth. Get
Yeah.
get those gold teeth out. You can melt those.
Take their little mouse rings off their mouse fingers.
Melt those down.
Melt them down into a nice little house. You can buy yourself some. You can buy some fine real estate right now in South America.
Should we end it there? Is that what
Sure.
On
Did you
this
ever
propaganda.
Did you ever play the game Mousetrap, the board game?
I
Oh
think
my
so.
god, that thing was such a pain to set up. I never played the game.
I
You
remember
had
at
to
least
be
I saw
like
commercials for it.
smarter than Warner von Braun to be able to
bring
set.
him back.
like
I had
this.
really fond memories of that game.
Of course you did, you Nazi.
Not that mouse, not the book.
Mouse.
All right, should we end it there?
Oh yes, yeah, I think it should.
All right, thank you everybody for listening to episode 1.
Thank Jared for showing up to the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for
I'm a
listening
busy man, yeah.
to the Ultimate Something podcast.
Mhm.
Tune in for the next episode. We don't know when it.
We'll talk about that ultimate something on the next one.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Is that going to be our closing thing? What Hayden just said?
Every time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
figure
gonna
it
keep
out.
taking that every time.
We'll figure it out.
I can't wait to figure it out who my mother is this episode.
Remember to like and subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yes.
That's
If
important.
you do, no, and also if you do like it, like and subscribe. Hold on,
To PewDiePie.
Killer Keemstar did nothing wrong.
Did something happen with Keemstar?
No, nothing ever happened.
Oh,
No,
okay.
people always go after him though and try to cancel him.
Oh. And make sure, guys, you listeners out there, to stop the count.
He's a quick guy. He's always trying to steal things, and Anakin can never catch up to him.
Yeah, stop the count.
Stop that count.
Gotta be the meme of the year. All right. See you, everybody.